Here's how you got yourself in so deep with a manipulator, and I'll hold your hand step by step as we take out the trash these people dumped on you. Facts are facts. So here you are in this mess in their web, but now you're seeing the manipulation for what it is and kind of freaking out a little bit. The first thing that you're likely to do is you will call yourself stupid, blind, weak, naive, whatever. None of that helps. It just breaks down your self-esteem even further. Stop being mean to yourself. Stop calling yourself names. Manipulative relationships don't start with obvious signs. If they did, you wouldn't have stayed. Stick to the facts and keep them in your back pocket for when you start spiraling about this, because you will. True fact. I got into this dynamic because I felt seen for the first time. That's the truth. What isn't the truth is that you're dumb. Your main issue right now is that you simply do not relate to the mind of a manipulator in any way whatsoever. You're driven by inner reflection, faith in the power of logic and consideration, and that if you just believe in love, there's no problem that can't be fixed. And you assume that everyone must have that same degree of common courtesy. They do not. You're a quick study. They start with you playing on emotional intensity, acceleration, and fascination. You feel seen and chosen. Your love chemicals are activated, and that's the first reason why this dynamic got so deep before you realized what was actually happening. Manipulative people are extremely observant. They learn you very quickly without actually caring for you deeply. They take notes on your insecurities, your emotional needs, your wounds, your fears, and your kindness. And they start shaping themselves around those observations so that it seems like they complete you. And when that happens, it feels like, wow, this person gets me. But all that really means is that you were a quick study. But also, they lack originality. Let that sink in. They had to copy you. If you suck so much, why did they mirror you? Rabbit and wolf, you are literally prey to them. Do not mistake, you got here because you're a fluffy rabbit and they are a wolf. And I already know you don't want to truly believe in wolves. Instead, you want to stop being a fluffy rabbit. You want to be stoic or deny your feelings, be a stone wall. It looks like they're the winner and you want to join the winner circle. It's hard to believe in wolves because they come in sheep's clothing. As Lauryn Hill said, they pretend to be lovers. You mistook their studying you for real interest. But they use their time with you only as a way to sharpen their manipulation tool. She also said that everyday people lie to God. So what makes you think that they won't lie to you? They will. They do. They're probably doing it right now. Stay a rabbit despite wolves. If you're an emotionally deep person, manipulation hits even harder because you were never looking for or even expecting surface level connection. So when somebody comes in and creates that seemingly emotional intensity fast, it feels incredibly meaningful, but only to you. They are not in love. But this is not about changing how kind and considerate you are. This is an attribute that is extremely valuable. It's just been used and abused because you never learned how to appreciate yourself and your value in life. So this needs to be addressed. How? Manipulators are strategic relators. They rely on you buying into these 4 myths. So let's start by disinvesting yourself from these myths because they've most likely been keeping you under their thumb in different ways and forms of these relationships your entire life. The past is the past myth. Rabbits in the wild, they keep their head on a swivel. Their nervous system is hypervigilant. They remember the past, but there's nothing they can really do about it except to learn by their mistakes and be smarter next time. But also, they're not human like you are, so they don't have the tools you have. So you're not going to be a trembling little bunny in the corner. You are not their prey, even if that's how they're treating you. So how do you see your value as a rabbit? First, you're not going to try to figure them out. Forget about that. You will literally never understand why and how they can be so evil. Instead, just remember. If you're ignoring the past, you're volunteering to relive it. Identify with fellow human myth. You got pulled into this because in the past you explained away inconsistencies. Since you're not a psychopath, you went into identifying with a fellow human mode. Maybe they're stressed. Maybe I did something. They had a hard childhood. Maybe I was just trying to get too close. You're not seeing their behavior clearly when you're trying to identify with them as if they're you. What you're doing is you're translating their conduct into a more comfortable story for yourself. And why wouldn't you? None of us want to truly believe the horror of what we're seeing, but also the horror is so well disguised that it's hard to see through the fog. Benefit of the doubt myth. But guess who created that exact fog in the first place? They thrive in it because that means you're knocked off balance. You are empathetic, understanding, forgiving, emotionally available, and patient, which sounds beautiful, but to a fault. When you've given those valuable traits to a manipulator, they just weaponize that. It's their leverage. What can looking at your past tell you right now? That you've been using benefit of the doubt the wrong way. You've been giving the benefits to them and keeping the doubts for yourself. That's backwards. You are not the one to be explaining their behavior, and you are not the one to be doubting your sanity. They're not all bad myth. When you buy into this one, a few months later, you're asking yourself why they could be so cruel. Manipulators produce trash for you that you have to get rid of. One of the things that fills up the bin really fast is unpredictability. They show you a version, albeit completely fake, that is warm and caring, romantic and safe, but they can't keep up that facade for long. So inevitably, you will see that version. The other confusing part of this is that no one else will see that real version because they are sure to keep other people on the surface level. But you're emotionally vulnerable and they know it, so they don't care at this point if you see them. That means a few things. That even if you called them out on it, no one would believe you, and they are betting on you feeling alone and unsupported. And this isn't just happening in romantic partnerships, okay? This is in spiritual or mentorship kind of scenarios where the perpetrator tells other people personal and untrue things about you as a way to make themselves look like the victim just in case you dare to cross them. I talk more about this in one of my videos on cults and how it shows up in your dreams, which dreams are super important because when you're enmeshed in these kind of manipulative dynamics, it is super hard to trust yourself, so you can look at your dreams. So for you, that means you start craving the good version of them again, and you know they have it in them, and you just want that back. So now you're trapped in an intermittent reinforcement cycle, waiting with bated breath for the switch to happen so that you can feel like the golden one again. Let that go. They are crazy. You are not ever going to get what you crave from them. And the more you want it, the more they know it, and then the more leverage that they have. I need to be fair myth. So when things flared up, you tried to resolve things emotionally while the other person managed potential outcomes by holding on to that leverage. You kept trying to win with fairness in a system that was never operating on that to begin with. When you were trying to love sincerely, they were focused on tactics. Those are two completely different games, and not all is fair in love and war. And to them, this is war. You just never realized it. Why? Because make love, not war, right? Now's the time to armor up, pal, and I'm going to hold your hand through this whole thing. We are about to blow these dippity dips gone away with the wind by countering their strategic relating with compassionate delaying, and it will drive them mad. Here's the scenario and how you can get past probably the most difficult hurdle. Strategic relating, compassionate delaying. They want you to be reacting immediately to whatever they throw at you. That's because speed can muck up your clarity and logic and throw you off kilter. They want to put you on the defense. Remember, this is war to them. So we're going to use compassionate delay. You don't have to answer immediately. Nothing is that urgent. Don't be trapped by the immediate feeling that you have to defend yourself. Accusations or assumptions are like, we all know how that sentence finishes. Yeah, they're like opinions. Everybody has one. Let's practice together and keep this in your back pocket when it happens to you. Imagine this. You see their toxic behavior. They know it, so they try this. I want you to know I'll always love you. I regret losing you, and I hope you find someone better. That last part, that was really off. That was manipulation. You didn't say anything about that. They put those words in your mouth, kind of like, oh, poor me. Don't do this to me. You're only doing this because you're judging me and trying to replace me with someone better. If you would only try harder for me, we could be in so much love. Now, I know you're tempted to respond back and remind them of how great they are, how you love or loved them too, you wish things could be different, and to share logically and factually the toxicity that you've noticed. But don't. Pause and observe what happens when you do nothing. Manipulative people will unravel when they don't get the emotional response that they expected. And they expect it because that's what you've always done. But now you are not going to do that. But buyer beware. What's going to happen most likely at some point is that they will start bombarding you with more emotional hooks, how they miss you and no one else can replace you. You are the only one who was kind and all the others out there are just shallow and full of themselves. You are so great. Don't. More delay. Then it will change to accusations. You must have cheated. I mean, because that's the only possible reason that you could not want them anymore, being that they are such a great catch. They are baiting you. They want you to say something back. Don't even say, I didn't cheat on you, you a-hole, because then they've got you on the defense. Right now, they are defending themselves, and that is uncomfortable to them. They are squirming like a little worm. Let them squirm. You will go through a range of very deep, very confusing emotions. You will be tempted. You will like that you're being pursued again. They are using that against you. Do not respond to their message. If it plays out in person, you do not have to respond. Sit in silence. Who cares? Just do it. They will show their best package now, and your instincts are to remember that they are attractive and charismatic and intelligent and spiritual and emotionally expressive, insightful, and whatever it is. The packaging is going to confuse you, but it is clickbait, my friend. This is how you got here in the first place. Manipulation didn't happen all at once. There were small boundary violations, and because they got away with it, it normalized to the bigger ones. You would have never accepted this relationship on day one if this is what had been presented to you. They will say they've realized their mistakes, but self-awareness is just the first step. It does not equal change. Somebody can fully understand what they're doing and still continue doing it because the behavior benefits them. That's hard for empathetic people like us to understand because we assume awareness naturally leads to transformation. It does not. And by the way, no amount of loyalty, love, patience, or consistency on your part will eventually bring the other person into authenticity. A huge mistake is interrogating manipulators. Why would you do this? Are you lying? Do you even care about me? You will never get an answer that satisfies you. Never. Manipulators are wholly prepared for direct confrontation like this. What they're not prepared for is calm observation. It terrifies them because their tricks aren't working. Remember when I said to sit in silence? That's their trick. That's what they do when you're trying to get answers from them. This is compassion, actually, compassionate delaying.